Pro tips or professional tips while tracking a hybrid Scrum project. Pro tip 1. While tracking the predictive part of a hybrid Scrum project, use the Gantt chart view. The Gantt chart view is the most effective view for tracking the predictive part of a hybrid Scrum project. Do not use the board related views such as sprint planning board view, current sprint board view, or task board view. Pro tip 2. While tracking the adaptive or the agile part of the project, specifically the Scrum part of the project, use the board views. For that, I'll go to the sprint tools, sprint tab here, then views group, sprint command, and choose current sprint board view or sprint 1 current. So this shows the current sprint board view. You have to simply drag the work items from one column to another. For example, deploy and close out, you are moving into next up. Then from next up to in progress. Then from in progress, you are moving it to done. When it is done, there will be a tick mark available to the top right corner of the card. Do note, the percentage complete for the workflow states such as next up, in progress, or done will not be available by default. You have to populate it on your own. Pro tip 3. We have two fields. One is show on board, another is agile field. So let us go back to the Gantt chart view. Again, I'll go to task tab, Gantt chart view here. So we have show on board. This is an inbuilt field available with MS Project. Ensure show on board is properly associated with the work items. Simplifying further, associate show on board field with a value of yes for the Scrum related work items, such as these items we have show on board. The predictive work items you should not associate with show on board. In other words, this field will be set as no for all these predictive work items. The reason is simple. If you associate all these work items with show on board enabled, then all these work items will be visible in the board views. And for you, tracking will be very difficult and confusing as well. Pro tip 4. We have another field that is agile field. This agile field is a custom boolean field. So you can right click and go to custom fields. As you can see, this is a flag or a boolean field. Now this is associated with the items which are agile work items. But there is a subtle distinction here. For example, I have some work items which are not directly associated with sprints, but they are agile items because they are falling under agile development. But they are not directly part of any sprint. So we have one pre-sprint work. Another one is agile home security development complete. These are agile work items but not associated with any particular sprint. And for these work items, you can have show on board or not show on board the field set. I would advise that you go for not showing on board. All those work items you track in the Gantt chart view. Pro tip 5 and the final pro tip. This tip is with respect to the status date. Many people forget to set the status date. Your status date must be set after you have set the baseline. Whenever you do any tracking with respect to the predictive part of the project, you are tracking effectively with respect to the status date. The status date can be set by going to the project tab, properties group, project information. Then here you have the status date set for this particular project. Or you can set the status date by going to the project tab, status group, status date. Here also you can set the status date. If you have not set the status date and you are doing tracking, then your tracking has no meaning at all. Because everything that you track, it is always with respect to the status date, which is also known as the data date or the record date. So these are the 5 professional tips I would like to share with you as you complete this article.